Hello and welcome to this checkpoint tutorial for race maps on MultiTheftAuto. I wanted to make this video to simply share my experience. I'm about to show you some techniques to place checkpoints. This is in order to give you some instruments while making maps. I'm about to show you. The point of this video is not about preventing mistakes, but about understanding how proper placement affects the gameplay and the reason to use one technique over another. But let's begin. So let's start to showing you what's the line I have in mind. Basically, I want to start from here, turn here, and here. So this is my arrive. I will show you at slow speed. Sorry, but I'm not a really fast racer. Let's go. So this is about the line. From here to here. I will stop the test with this, not with the F5. So this is the path. Let's see how to place checkpoints. For this first example, I'm gonna use size 9. Later on I will I count to make another video where I speak only about size of checkpoints. But for now, let's assume this is a good size for it. For our purpose, I will clone the checkpoint and I will simply place one here randomly and this here. This way we can move when we want to show each technique we want. So for now I put it here. And let's start with the techniques. Let's save. So let's begin with first technique. The first technique is this one, apex checkpoint. Apex is this is the corner here, and apex is the edge of the corner. So you put the checkpoint here by covering all the space possible of the real corner, and this basically is a clean and how to say, very effective way to place checkpoints. Personally, I consider it a good way as long as you take care of the space around. For example, if I arrive here, this part is not covered by the checkpoint, but it is. Even if you come close to the wall, you can still reach the collision of the checkpoint. So it's a good technique. By the way, as you can see here, if this technique have only one flow, if you have a wide area like this, you are totally ignoring all these lines here, and you are enabling, the only cut you are enabling is this, between the two poles. Maybe you can try also to cut here, but I don't think the collision arrives. So if you wish to use this technique to handle this wide area, you should, for example, enlarge the checkpoint to a gargantuan level, maybe 25. But as you can see, it's totally a mess. So this is a great technique, but is very good if you use it mixed to something else. By the way, this is also a great technique if you want to force a line. For example, if your purpose is to force this line, you say, I don't want to cut here. I want to force the player to arrive here and to use this edge of the corner because you prefer, because you think this is a more funny line, because, for example, I don't know, you then wish to go for here, these are all valid examples. Let's put again the checkpoint where we need this randomly here. So this is apex checkpoint. Second technique is checkpoint before the corner. So let's place it here. As you can see, when I arrive, the corner is this wide area here, and I put it before it. So let's place ourselves here. As you can see, I'm arriving, and the arrow is telling me that I have to go to the left. To make it work, you have to put the checkpoint in the first enclosed area available before the corner. For example, here I have 2 walls, so I must go here. I have no escapes. I am arriving straight from here, and I have to turn. And there are no other ways to where to go if not between those spaces. If I put it too early, for example here, I may, okay, I can enable if this, even if this was another cut, but I'm enabling this rod here, so the player may get confused. So to make it work, I must be sure I don't have ambiguity. But also, for example, if I place it, I don't know, this way, for any reason, imagine you are not ghosted, you are with collision with cars, and you have to avoid this area, you may also miss it. So to make it work, you need what I call a gate. So this is a perfect place where to place the checkpoint. The advantage is obvious. You can use whatever path you want, and you have the assurance that this is the path I have to use. This technique is the one I use the most, but not always is it possible to use it. Let's talk now about a specific technique I saw that is after the corner. This was before the corner. Let's see after. Grab the checkpoint. I saw many players put checkpoints like this. This is a perfect example of what I mean. So I prefer to show you with the live test. Let's go. We start, as you can see, if not for the minimap here, this, I have absolutely no clue about where I have to go. Because imagine I don't have this situation here. So here I had a very tall building where I should go. So I discovered the road only when I finish the corner. So only here I know, okay, I have to go here. But again, I go here. Now I have a little clue about where to go because there is the cylinder there. Let's stop the test. So here we are in the situation before. Now I know I have to go here, but if I had a building was totally covered, for example, let's move into a real scenario. Imagine I'm here and I put the checkpoint here. How can I see it? Because the car usually have this kind of level, so it's totally covered by the building. So this for common playing is a not very good technique for me, because the only advantage you have is to not have, for example, if I put here before the corner of an apex, the cylinder of the checkpoint is covering a bit my sight about the corner. But to be honest, if you have this kind of problem of you are a maker who takes care of this, you can simply do this for me. This way you can still have the arrow and still have a very clean site. By the way, this technique must be really helpful if, for example, you are in a scenario like this. Imagine you are coming from here, I don't know, and the second checkpoint is like this. Doesn't matter where is the next. So I'm coming from here, and what I see is this big cylinder there. So now I know for certain that I have to turn to the left. There is no surprise in here. I have a really clean sight of where to go, because here is all transparent. There are no obstacles, so I can afford to live totally freedom here. But this is more under the maker test, so it's a specific attitude. But a real scenario of where it can help is, for example, imagine I'm coming from here, so I'm arriving here, and second checkpoint after the corner is placed, for example, here. So the player is arriving, he knows he have to turn. Then what he see is that I have the big cylinder there, but I have a gargantuan way to arrive there. I have many ways. I can go here, under the tunnel here, I can go here. If there are mistakes, I can go use this line here. I don't know. Whatever happens, I can use every line possible. So this is a clear example of free roam. And this, as you can see, this is a proper application of using it after the corner, even if in this case is a combo technique, because I use it before the corner here and after there. I'm showing the destination of my line, because remember, the checkpoint placement is not about telling the people where to go, or at least it's not only that, it's about draw a line, because here I have the suggestion for the edit, but I'm drawing a line. If I give to the player free roam, I'm telling, okay, you draw a line, use this one here, use this one even if it's slower, whatever you want you can use. So for that, while placing checkpoint, I'm speaking about enabling or disabling cuts, because here I'm not creating a cut to arrive here, but I'm enabling all these lines by placing the checkpoint here, because nothing can forbid to me to place the checkpoint here, and the player know that he must go here or here. Here you have two lines. If I put it here, maybe with a smaller section, you have only this line. So after the corner must be only if there are some trick or some helpful ways to handle those lines. Let's go now to the fourth technique. This is something old, luckily not very used. Let's place back our checkpoints. I place it almost here randomly. Oh, the technique is in the middle, for example here. Imagine to have a checkpoint here, another here. This is what happened here. This here. a little mess with checkpoint. This editor is very sensible. For example, the last in the end. Usually by cloning it's possible to handle everything. In this case we ruined everything. I guess because I picked up the wrong one. This is checkpoint 2. Okay, this is the favorite technique of MSD, Mr. Self-Destruct. But there is a reason. Basically, you are ignoring whatever exists on corners because your purpose is to put checkpoints in the place you wish players arrives. I know that I want the players have to pass here. I know that they have to pass here. They have to go here or more randomly, and then the ending here. Yeah. So this is a good technique, but as long, for example, you put walls. For example, I'm here. Suppose I put the checkpoint also here, like this. Where the hell I have to go? Here, here. So in this case, MSD arrives and put a nice wall here, and job done. For opportunities like this is a good technique because you don't care about giving instructions to player because the road have walls, so you have only to press W and go straight. I cannot go here because I put another wall, so enclose it, bye bye. I have to follow up the road until the next. This is I don't like it, but it's a good technique because you don't have to go anywhere else. So plain sight, you can see wherever you have to go, you have to follow until the next checkpoint, etc, etc. Even here he would maybe will put another kind of walls here. So for this is a very good technique. Or imagine you don't put objects, but you put, for example, you leave it full vanilla. So with all this enabled. It's also a good technique, but only if you have, for example, a trained map. Your purpose is to use this map for trained clan wars or for, I don't know, for a server where you count that players will memorize the map. So in that case, for example, this is my personal taste. I will do something like this. This may have a sense because you are from here and you have 3 ways to reach this checkpoint. You can go here, you can go here, you can do the old trick of putting a checkpoint here and the next here over this bridge. So players at first play will be confused. Let me show it properly. You put checkpoint here, and for example, the ending here. Where was here? So a player may be really confused to see this mess. But in the end, if you train this map, so at first sight I see that arrive here. Oh my god, where I have to go? You can go here, you can crash or use this little gap and arrive here. Then, oh my god, where I have to go? Left, right, I don't know. Under works because you have you are the argument of before. You are enabling this cut under the bridge. The checkpoint is here. You have to go a bit around, just move a bit. So this in the middle is another technique. It's valid, it's great, but only in these two scenarios. One, if you enclose the map with walls, so it's not anymore the checkpoint to tell you where to go, but it's the design of the map. Second is a good technique if your purpose is to enable a hidden cut or hidden lines and to give to players and to make the map for their training purpose. So the player will play the map many times, and they will until they discover each line and the best line. So let's go to the last technique. I call this technique the NOOB checkpoint. The name is how to say, not it's my invention. Usually the standard word is 2.5. This should be the standard size of a checkpoint when you create with the tool. Let's put again checkpoints into a place that we like. 2.5. Come here again. In our road. Okay, this is not necessary. And our finish is here. Are enough checkpoint for our purpose. So I saw this technique used in the main big servers like Mr. Green, FFS, and in some others. But most of the times were maps made by people who, how to say, are not very familiar with the editor, so they, for laziness or in some rare cases on purpose, make a checkpoint with the standard sides, and then here will begin the fun, because this technique is about place the checkpoint in the line you have in mind. For example, imagine that I want to use that cut here. I put the checkpoint here. Imagine the maker had in mind to cut here. This is a very bad line, but for example here. And he places it here. Again, standard. So here, imagine to arrive and put it here. There is my clientmate unknown who uses this technique, but a bit better. So this is what he makes. So he places the checkpoint here. So I have to go to this line. It's the best line possible, I think, because even if you go here, you can still reach the point or go around these poles. I don't know what's the best. Here, usually if you cut here, many can cut here, but you can still do this, etc, etc. Here's a mess with poles, so the best cut is here, etc. So this is a, how to say, lazy technique. You are piloting the line, but you have only two real flow. The first, the checkpoint must be placed very well, because how to say, you are forcing a specific line. That's what is meaning. That if you force this line, I don't totally care about what happens here. By what this is meaning, I can miss the checkpoint. If I arrive wide, for any reason, I'm into a clan war, and for any reason I hit this pole and arrive wider. Okay, I have to turn back, take the checkpoint and continue. I am into unghosted server, collision are enabled. Okay, I have a noob here who is arriving and hitting the pole and making a great mess. I have to avoid this, turn back and get a checkpoint. So the main reason is this checkpoint here makes so tiny. Okay, it's creating this line which I love. Imagine this. I want to force player to go here and imagine what they can do here. Because I'm a troll, I'm a whatever you want. I want this line. So I'm piloting the players to go use this line. Nothing against it. But keep in mind that you can create a real mess here. Imagine with the collision enabled. You have, for example, even not that many, but 5 people coming here. Not everyone can get this checkpoint, because someone have to slow down, someone else have to arrive wider, someone can get the right line, someone else can crash. So this is of course another argument for how to say the next video about sides. But I can use this technique even into a wider situation. For example, imagine I want to go from here on this corner. Usually I would put the checkpoint here. But imagine the maker makes something like this whole situation here, because for me is only if you want to force a line. You have this line here. I can miss the checkpoint a bit more like this. I can miss the checkpoint. I arrive at full feed. This is the best line possible. Oops, missed. I arrive wider for any reason. Missed. How to say? I have to avoid another player here. Boom! I arrive here. So this is also the noob checkpoint I'm calling it. Because okay, you are forcing this line. You are forcing to use the center of this wide area. But okay, you have a really well understanding of what you are doing. For example, if you put the checkpoint here, is another forced line, but it's a bit more interesting because it's on Apex, the first technique. And you are at least avoiding to crash here with a straight line. You are avoiding to make rage peoples because they don't have to cut. You can still miss it. Imagine you do this wide shit, I don't know why. You can still miss it. Imagine I don't know. You go here because you missed this point. Can happen. But at least have a meaning. So, or even so, imagine you want to put this here. You are again forcing this line, or you put it here. So this is for me the noob checkpoint. A checkpoint who is forcing a line where it's not meant to be done. I used the first example with standard sides because I saw many examples of this. But on wide areas is the real application where you can useful have a meaning to this. For example here, this should be a before corner, the next is here. I arrive, the line is forced. I can't arrive very nice here and cut. I have to arrive this large and cut only at the last moment. Or even further, here, I'm forcing the line. It's not like put the checkpoint after. This is a good example of after the corner, but still I can miss it. So, for example, I would use something like this, or enlarge a bit the checkpoint, or even better, here we have an enclosed space. I can put it like here, like that, because it's unlikable. you can take this line here. Of course, suppose I arrive from here, so straight line. I won't, for any reason at all, arrive from here a bit further. This could be a good set point. Again, with the NOOB technique, but if you want to have one of the previous technique, simply enlarge it for 15, for example. Now it's totally unmissable. You are pretty sure you can take it. But this is another argument. So that said, let's get back to our original map. So let's go back, place again the set point where we need, here, and let's make our map. What I will do for this map will be this. This now is clear enough, I have to turn here, and this one is already in place. So this is my favorite technique, but nothing wrong to put this, for example, here. Is almost on apex, you are showing the line to the player, and it's clear enough, because you turn and you see this. I know I have to go to the left, I have enough visual to see this. So thanks for watching, this was my first video tutorial, I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye!